We're in the
So I would be here.
It's my listing, but it's well under the two.
Right here, what was this? What this mean is, it's the all agent team meeting. All agent.
And then we're gonna
I'm
go
going
back.
to the range, I have you with that.
Screw you.
Oh, that's. I'm looking whether I.
All my.
We are
Shot back, you know.
gonna get started, because we're technically still in the push. So, here we go.
So, yeah.
Culture and action. Our culture and actions, numbers are number 19. Not only learning, but living the Y4C2Ts. Does anybody know what the Y4C2Ts are? Anybody?
I have it on my phone.
Yeah, yes, we have it on shirt. I'm not gonna get all of these. Let's see how many likes.
I know it's a win-win.
Win-win, integrity, communication, commitment. See, it's the C's that get me.
And yeah, I always get to meet Phil.
Well, okay, here's our lesson. We need to figure out what the Y4C2Ts are. I mean, can say the Y4C2Ts, which I feel like should be bonus points for Lexi. Here we go. I got it.
Communication.
Win-win, integrity, commitment, communication, creativity, customers, teamwork, trust, equity, and success. Because this is a little outdated, there should be an E in there, and it's equity, and the success. So, committed to the not only learning, but living the life for each team. So, win-win or no deal. Integrity, always do the right thing. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Customers always come first. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, I think it's everyone's welcome. And then,
inclusion.
yeah. And then success is results through people.
So
So
equity is opportunities for all.
opportunities for all.
I just looked it up.
Thank you. Opportunities for all. So not only learning but living the life for CTTs. Number 20, putting God and your family first, then business second. Our belief system is the life for CTTs, but our value is God, family, then business. So, and I also kind of like to put in here, maybe it's just me, God is whomever is your higher power. So we are an opportunities for all companies. So we also have some affinity groups for some of the other religions. There's a KW Simcha, which is a Jewish community. There's KW Arabic. There's I think a Persian group as well. So there's all sorts of affinity groups for kind of the answers to that question. So those are our culture and action items for today. Do it then if you will. Our birthdays, we are still waiting on our stacked June 23rd. Which is Heather Skelton, Kelly Wyatt, Stephanie Johnson in Houston. Side note, Heather Skelton has gone back to California because she got a not good cancer diagnosis.
Oh.
So if you know Heather Skelton, if you have contact information, just give her a quick text, letting her know that you're thinking of her, pray for her if that is something that you do. She's got 2 very young kids, so we are hoping that she can beat the odds. So Same for Brother Skelton, if you are so inclined. Bucket fills, I am holding true to Joseph's commitment to 3 bucket fills, leadership bucket fills don't count, and I will stand here all day. 3 bucket fills, who you got?
Dana.
Dana Clayton.
Dana has been fantastic with my lovely ins and outs of my loans and not loans and appraisals and.
Dana Clayton is phenomenal, if you have not had a transaction with her, I highly suggest that you do one with her. Her office is over by mine, she was with Keller Home Loans.
And then the other one is Steven for putting up with all my shenanigans.
Yay, Steven!
So there's 2 for you.
There's 2. Technically 1, but we'll go with 2 since y'all are being quiet today. Need one more, who's got one more? I seriously will stand here all day, guys.
I'll do one, I mean, everybody that was here at 9 o'clock this morning,
Yes.
showing up, I mean, that's all it really is, it's
Yep.
just showing up, doing
Yeah.
work.
Alright, I'll take it. I shouldn't, but I will.
Oh, you have to.
Alright, congratulations to our members. So last week, Betsy Darby, Patrick Garvin, and Ryan Little have capped. They are now enjoying 100% of their commission. And we are very excited for them. I don't think we have any newcomers to the wall this week. But we have new captures this week. And congratulations on her first transaction. Grace Mattingly closed her first transaction this last week. So we are very excited for her. Tell her congratulations if you see her, all the things. Career night, next week, next Thursday. It's at the front of the slide so that we talk about it for a second. Career night is coming up. Our goal is to help you grow your business. And that includes growing your life through passive income, which is for us profit share. There's a lot of different ways for passive income. I'm specifically going to talk about profit share for a second. Anytime you give me a name of somebody who wants to get in school, is in school, for the current situation, a licensed agent who is maybe with a different brokerage who is potentially looking to move, and they come and join KW, we will walk them through the process of naming you as their sponsor. If you are the person who referred them to me, you and I are their sponsor, okay? So that puts them in your downline when they close the transaction, so. Example, Grace's sponsor, I don't know who it is off the top of my head, but because Grace closed the transaction, she contributed to the profit of this market center. So whoever her sponsor is will earn profit share, okay? So we want that for you. Every little bit counts. If you can get $75 a month, that pays for your monthly office bill, right? So our goal for you is to start working towards zeroing out your cap, your passive income. So if you know of anybody who is interested in getting a real estate license, please share a career night with them. If they are already in school, please put them in a 3-way text with me and I will bring them into the office and we will have a chat. If you are sitting across from somebody at the closing table and they were like, oh my god, my brother is a nightmare to deal with. Start that conversation. You can do a warm handoff, you can hand them off to Donna. If you feel more so inclined, you can hand them off to Kelly, to Tara, to Bo. To whomever you feel like would be the best person to get them into our race, okay? So we want to grow your profit share. Career night's a great way to start with that. Alright, May awards. I do know that we're into June, but May awards. $1 million quote. So that is agents who sold or closed over $1 million in volume last month. That is Curtis Brown, Curtis and Crystal, technically. Matt Bouch, Ashley Spencer, George Ford, Nora Williams, Betsy Darby, Terry and Jesse Kerr, and Shane Underwood. Our top individual agent written units, Nora Williams with 14, Matt Fouch with 10.5, Taylor Case with 5. Team written units, Team Brown Sullivan Town with 9, Underwood Group with 6, Kathy Whitpile Realty Group with 6. Top group written units, Excel Real Estate with 4, Catalyst with 3, Double Barrel Holdings with 2. Closed units, Nora Williams with 14, Matt Fouch with 9. Closed units for teams, Team Brown Sullivan Town with 9, Underwood Group with 6, Kathy Whitpile Realty Group with 4. And top group, Catalyst Group with 6.02 units. We double checked apparently, that's actually a thing. Excel Real Estate 4 units, Double Barrel Holdings 3. I believe in you, I trust you, it just was a very weird number. Top individual agent closed volume, Nora Williams was just south of $7 million, Destiny Darby with about 1.3, and Matt Pauch with about 1.3. Team closed volume, Underwood Group 1.8, KHT, that's the current homes team 1.5, and Team Brown Summertown Town 1.4. Top group closed volume, Excel with 1.7, Catalyst with 1.5, and Double Barrel Holdings with 859. Are you going to live?
Yep.
Okay. Top individual agent closed GCI, Norma and Destiny. Team closed GCI, Underwood Group, Team Brown, KHT. And top group Catalyst, Excel, and Double Barrel. So those are kind of our top productions. First listing taken at Keller Williams Commonwealth is Sheila Rosen. She is out of our Somerset, she's out of the Somerset area, but she's technically out of our Stanford office. This is Crystal's mother. And then our first closings at KWC in May, Christian Briones, Joseph Lyons, and Miss Sheila. So congratulations to our May award winners. And just so you guys know, we do have our top rankings usually up on the screens in here throughout the day. And those did get updated yesterday, and we did have some movement to our top rankings. So if you're in here, peek into the trading room at the stuff's up on the screen and check out the rankings. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about shift tactic number 4. Haley's gonna hand out some stuff. We're gonna go through these. We're gonna do some shift tactics. Shift tactic number 4 is about lead generation. So we're gonna kind of dive into a little bit of lead generation today. Really quick, and then we will have a couple more announcements, and then we will wrap it up for today. Also, if you didn't get donut holes and stuff out there, please feel free to go get some donut holes. Okay? So, finding the motivated. There are 2 approaches to generating leads: prospecting and marketing. This is straight out of the MREA. While those approaches work, you need to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. Great agents do both prospecting and marketing well. They cover both bases. Your lead generation goal each and every day is to find the motivated buyers and sellers, secure them as customers before any other agents, and advise them to a mutually successful financial conclusion. Especially in a shifted market, you don't have time to waste on the unmotivated, the unsure, or the unqualified. Okay? MRNA talks about the average person has 2 spots in their mind to hold names to things. So you are either the number 1 mind share for real estate agents. When somebody says, I need a realtor, you're either number 1 or you're number 2 or you don't exist. Okay, so you need to be number 1 or number 2 in people's eyes. The language of sales needs to be strong and to the point. Many agents have made the mistake of not using aggressive enough language. But in a shifted market, it is no time to beat around the bush with your message. Whatever you say needs to be spoken with both assertiveness and conviction, no matter what the market. Be provocative. Every message you use in a marketing piece or in person must make an impression on people. And the impression you want is a memorable one of success, enthusiasm, and command. Every time you talk to someone, it's an opportunity to build a relationship. It's a chance to connect on a personal level. How's the family? What have you been up to? On a business level, how's your business? Every conversation is a chance to get into discussion of the market. Let me tell you about the real estate market. So the aim of every conversation should be 3 questions. Ask for business, ask for a referral, and build a relationship. Okay? We should be doing all 3 things. The best way to ask is with a series of great questions. Use scripts, which I've given you some. I know Stephen had, you guys were talking about scripts this morning, right?
Yeah.
So then, papers that Haley just gave you, there's some scripts in the back, straight out of the shift stuff. The objective is to propose questions with some kind of an offer to generate response. So one of those ways is through MOFRs. I was gonna ask you what MOFR stand for, but it's on the screen, so my bad. MOFR stands for make offer for immediate response. Okay? With all your lead generation activities, your goal is to generate responses. preferably immediate responses, and you do this by outcome framing your message. What offer can you make that addresses the top fears or concerns of buyers and sellers and motivates them to respond? For example, what is it that buyers are wanting in a shift market? Great buys, financing options. Tailor your message to address their need. What do sellers want? To sell their home quickly, the best price for their home, tailor an offer that meets their needs. I know we talked about this, probably been a month or two since we talked about it. But everybody in your database is falling into one of 4 categories. They're either a now buyer or a someday buyer. They're a now seller or a someday seller. So they're one of 4 categories. So everything that we do needs to reach somebody in one of those 4 categories. Even better if you can get it to reach multiple, but everything that we do needs to be of value to one of those 4 categories. If it is not value to one of those 4 categories and or adding to your personal brand, it is not helping you, right? We can kind of talk about like the power of rentals and leases. We don't do a ton of leases here just by the nature of them in Kentucky. But your business is built off of, and it should be built off of, listings, right? The 3 L's of the MREA: listings, leads, and leverage. So your business should be built off of listings, okay? So in that perspective, we're looking at our now sellers or our someday sellers, right? But one of the 4 categories is the important part, right? So we've got our lead generation broken down into prospecting and marketing. So in the prospecting, we've got direct response and indirect response. Direct response messages demand a direct answer and quickly identify those who are ready to do business now. Are you ready to hire me to handle the sale of your home? Yes or no, right? Indirect response messages are perceived by buyers and sellers as safe and non-threatening because they do not ask for immediate business. Indirect response is a great lead generation tool to develop a level of comfort and rapport with a potential customer over time. I'm going to our homeowners association meeting. Is there anything you would like me to bring up? Would you mind if I stayed in touch and sent you news about what's going on in the neighborhood? That's an indirect, right? Who can think of a couple of direct response questions asked? So remember, our example was, are you ready to hire me to handle the sale of your home? What's a direct response question that you are asking right now? Anybody? Should probably crack one.
Is this for expires that you're talking about?
No, this is just for,
Just
in general, what's a direct response question that you are asking in your marketing, in your branding, in your conversations, in your scripts? What's a direct response question that you are asking? I have one that should be in absolutely everybody's, regardless of what the situation is. Do you know anybody who's interested in buying or selling today? Right, they're a customer referral. Anybody? Steven, what direct response questions are you guys asking?
Yeah, the referrals is what we have been talking about. I actually had touched on invoking emotion of kind of, hey, in the future, what does your ideal scenario look like? You can have many questions dealing with that, but it's kind of invoking sort of their emotions.
Yeah. FOMO, urgency, any of that kind of stuff. Okay, so we should probably come up, this is a lot like, Phil Jones is exactly what to say. He's got an entire book of exactly what to say. Essentially scripts, different lead offs, all of that kind of stuff. We have copies of it in the MCA office, you can get them on Amazon. There's an audiobook for it. You don't have to use all of them. And actually, you probably shouldn't use all of them. You should pick the ones that work for you and use those. I think his book of exactly what to say are probably the direct responses that we're talking about here. So find a direct response that works for you, that you are comfortable with, write it down, use it in your scripts, use it in your emails, use it in your stuff. Some other direct response stuff. Are you thinking of moving? Yes or no? Do you want me to help you get the home of your dreams? That one is interesting, cause that one's a direct, do you want my help, yes or no? But then we added the home of your dreams. Which has this little like pull at the heartstrings, right? Like, do you want the home of your dreams or do you just want a check, right? So we're kind of mixing stuff in that one. Are you considering selling your home? Yes or no? Okay. Do you want me to handle the sale of your home? That one's a little less pull at the heartstrings, but still a good one, right? Alright, so indirect responses. Here are some examples of indirect. I'm doing a survey in the area, would you mind if I ask a few questions? Probably more of a door knocking one, right? I just sold a home down the street and there were lots of interested buyers, do you know anyone else who might be interested in selling their home? I created a newsletter with great information about real estate trends in your area, may I send it to you? Would you be interested? Probably, exactly what you say, so here's another one. I have a monthly email that I can send to you that has all the market updates for your neighborhood. Can I send it to you? What would that be? If you ask that question, what would the smart button? Neighborhood nurture. There's a bi-weekly and a monthly neighborhood nurture. We could also, with that question, do saved searches, right?
Yeah, and then isn't there, I was looking this week. Getting all my people into different. And I was pretty sure I saw one that's a quarterly touch point too.
There's a quarterly call plan
Okay.
in there, which is gonna give you a task once a quarter to call a person, right? Which could still be one of your indirect responses. I would like to stay in touch. Can I add you to my quarterly call? Maybe call it something different than quarterly call, right? So indirect responses. Some good ones in there. So marketing offers for direct response. If you want to sell your home now, call me. Are you looking for the home of your dreams? Call me. Need to sell your home? Call Janice today. I have buyers who are interested in living in your neighborhood. Call me if you're ready to sell now. My problem with this one, and maybe this is just a me problem, you don't actually have any buyers looking in that area. Maybe not the best thing to say.
No, we actually just talked about that.
Did you? Okay, go for it. Lead generation. I can help you get the most net income from the sale of your home today. Call me to learn now. Who in here has used a seller net sheet before? Who knows what who doesn't know what a seller net sheet is? There's no, okay, cool. So if you go to our website, catercommonwealth.com, the second menu over, I can't remember what it's called. There is a buyer guide and a seller guide in there. If you click into there, you probably need the password. Password is a market center number 958. In that sheet, there are some scripts for buyers or sellers, depending on which one you're looking at. Simple forms, some non-resources for buyers or sellers, depending on which one you're looking at. And then on each of those is a seller net sheet. There is also a multiple offer review sheet, I think is what it's called. That seller net sheet you should be using for everything. It is you're gonna put all of the information that you have, and at the bottom it is gonna tell your seller what they will net with their current asking price, with all of those things. The multiple offer review is gonna tell you with the certain contingencies, with the closing of the covering of closing costs, any of that kind of stuff with the multiple offers. It's gonna show you which one of those offers is gonna net them more. Because your sellers may not actually understand how closing costs work, how contingencies work. It may sound like a great idea to cover the cost of closing at a certain, we're gonna offer $1,000 over, but we want you to cover our closing costs. They may be like, oh my gosh, they're gonna offer us over our asking price, that's amazing. But then your closing costs may end up costing them more to their net, right? So having that seller net sheet and breaking that down is important. And that could be what gets you in the door at a listing appointment, right? I'm gonna bring the numbers. We're gonna talk about the numbers today, right? And we're gonna talk about how we market it. We're gonna follow the 14-step marketing plan from the MREA. We're gonna do all of these things, right? I'm gonna create a web page just for your listing that I'm gonna share all over social media, right? So there's a lot that we can do with the resources that we have to create these ideas, so we also have indirect responses plus. Direct response, so the 1-2 punch. Indirect begins with this indirect response. I just sold a home down the street, do you know anyone else who may be interested in selling your home? No, well, thank you anyway. Then you follow up with this direct response. Before I leave, do you mind if I ask another question? Are you considering selling your home? Okay. I just sold a home down the street, was wondering if you know anyone else who might be interested in selling their home. No longer rates. Can I ask you a question before I? Interested in lots with the best view? Call today toll free or visit my website. Direct follow up. I noticed that you called our toll free line inquiring about lots with views. When can we get together to take a look at them? A great example of this that's working really well for an agent in our office is Miss Emily Crum. She made a list of homes in Madison County that were under $200,000. She just made a working Google Doc that I don't know how often she updates it, but she updates it. She posted in a Facebook group saying that she had a list of homes in Madison County that were for sale under $200,000. Contact her today if you wanted to look at that list. They messaged her, she sends them the list, and she follows up with them, right? You can do something similar. Emily's doing that for Madison County, maybe you do that for, no, what's the name of? Jessamine, there we go.
I'm in Destin.
It was like, you know, it wasn't right, and it was like, it was sitting behind my eye and I knew it. Yeah, so okay, so some of these are gonna be harder also though, because maybe they're harder to find houses under $200,000, and maybe you put a caveat on that, they have to be like move-in ready with Littleton, right? There's gonna be counties and areas where that's gonna be a harder list to compile, but that's maybe why you do it, right? Because that's what everybody's looking for. And they're looking for somebody who's just gonna create a job for them, and they just hop on whenever they have a chance, right? And maybe you make a little announcement, list has been updated, right? Any other like ideas on the finding the motivated using indirect responses plus direct responses? Anybody else seen anything working?
Yeah, I'll go back into your Phil Jones, you know.
Such a good book, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of his is emotion, and if you're not following him on Instagram, you're
Yeah.
missing out, because he posts a lot of his seminar stuff. A lot of his is like, a lot of people find it beneficial that blank. Would it make sense?
Mhm.
Blank, so like for there, if you Phil Jones the direct, you'd say, before I leave, a lot of people, you know, have asked, would it make sense? Or if you found something that made sense, would you consider selling your home? So
Yeah.
it's kind of crafting, it's the same words,
Mhm.
but it's sort of crafting in a different way, like if a perfect opportunity came along, would you consider selling your home?
And that's an interesting conversation. If the perfect home came on the market for you, would you consider moving? Would you consider selling? Well, yeah, if the perfect home came on the market, of course we'd be interested. Okay, what is that perfect home? Oh, well, 3 bed, 2 bath, 1,500 square foot, but it has to be over in Andover Hills, I don't know if that, I just might have made that up. It has to be in that neighborhood. Awesome. Would it be okay with you if I set you up on an automatic search so that when that perfect house comes on the market, you'll know? Now we're putting them on a safe search, right? Whether it's through Command or whether it's through Flex. When the perfect home comes on the market, they know. And if we're doing it properly, it's branded to you, so when they say, oh my god, that is the perfect home, they know who to call. Which is why we don't use Zillow, because they're just gonna hit contact agent and it's not gonna go to you, right? So we're making sure that we're using our website. If you're gonna use the Flex MLS, make sure you're creating a portal for them through Flex. Not just putting them on a safe search so that they can access their portal, their portal is branded to you, the emails come from you, all of those kinds of things, right? So, some really good options for door knocking, cold calling, and I think especially even for your database too. Like talking to your friends, your family. Well, if we have the perfect home for you, or if the perfect home came on the market, would you be interested in selling? Okay, what is that, right? Any other? Find motivating?
Not about motivating, but can you send us this slideshow?
Sure will.
Alright.
Or- Yeah. No, that was like, we've been talking about how we're gonna do this, so,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, wow, this is horrible, but don't worry, it's right in front of you. So sorry, didn't think it was gonna be that bad on the TV. So, but it's okay, cause I printed it out for you, so, we give you. Lead source table straight from the MREA for lead sources. So what I want you to do really quick is I want you to take a second and I want you to go down this list. And mark if you are able physically make a reminder, tally in your phone if you don't have a pen or pencil, or we can get you a pen or pencil. How many of these lead sources are you actively using? So first of all, the first time I want you to go through is which of these are you actively using? I'm gonna give you a couple minutes to go through this. Does anybody need a pen? Somebody prefer a pen? Yeah, I don't know if these pens are actually gonna work. You have thought.
They don't wanna leave you that. I'm gonna win.
He like looks at you every time you come by.
I don't understand. We were
I
best.
feel like he remembers who you are, like described you. And he's like trying to figure it out.
We were the best of friends, you guys, and now I'm like stranger danger.
What did you do?
I don't know. He just decided that I was stranger.
You shared a monster with him, didn't you?
Oh, maybe I should, maybe that was what not. He's like, no, thank you. She's like, you are never going to stay with Nancy Lexi. I can feel the sugar high coming out.
Yeah, you have cookies, he'll be your best friend.
Oh, okay, got it. Cookies coming next week. Okay, so who on here has checked? Let's do more than 10.
I think that's split on. cheating.
So, yeah. Who has over 5 of these that they are actively doing? Okay, who has 4? 3. 2. 1. And who is doing none of these things? Yay! Okay, that's a good answer. Okay, so now I want you to take this list and I want you to make a different note. So if you circled them, maybe underline these, make a different note of things that are like you read on this list, and you're like, oh, that would be cool. Or oh, that would be fun. Or oh my gosh, that brought up an idea. I want you to underline the ones that you're like, I like this thought. If there's any on here that you like.
I think they're all good.
Okay, so I wanna explore, this is totally off script, this is not in here, but I think it's going to be fun. So, we are gonna take this list, whether it's ones that you are doing, or things that you've just underlined. How do we make one of the things on here something that is not a job? What do I mean by that? If you absolutely love golfing and that's your passion and you go to the golf range every single day. What if your lead generation tactic was every day, you invite somebody new to go with you and ask them to invite somebody that you don't know to go with you? And what if we did that for lead generation, right? So who on here can take one of these things that's on here and put a spin on it to make it something that you truly love and enjoy doing that will not make this feel like 2 hours of lead gen? Anybody have any ideas? We've got playbooks and playbooks galore on people doing exactly this. Who's gonna be on our next family reunion channel?
Something that isn't on here, but that I have heard several people talk about is closing gifts. And their closing gift, the person that I was talking to is a housewarming for people that have
Yep.
bought with them.
Mhm.
And they tell them, hey, invite 20 of your closest friends, I'll provide the food and drinks.
Yep.
As long as I'm invited, and then you get all the names and contacts
Yep,
for those people.
it's one of our playbooks,
Mhm.
she is an individual team out of Cincinnati. Guess who her coach was during this epiphany call where she came over with housewarming parties? Miss Starsmith. She, 95% of her business is first time home buyers, myth buyers, she doesn't do a ton of listings. Her thing is when it is ready to close, she says, I'm gonna throw you a housewarming party. Send me the X number of names, it probably depends on the house size and all of that kind of stuff. X number of names, I need their name, phone number, email, and physical address, because I'm gonna send them a thing. She sends them invites, she adds them to her database. She invites them to the housewarming party. Her and her husband have found out that taco bars is the easiest thing to do, they can buy the meat in bulk, they can reuse a lot of the taco themed decorations and that kind of stuff. The taco or the shells, the chips, the sour cream, the guacamole is a fairly cheap additional add-on. They make taco bar stuff, they decorate the house, they put together a housewarming party and they attend. And they talk to everybody. They usually get 1 to 2 new pieces of business at the housewarming party. But then they are also following up with all of these new people into their database. And 95% of her business is referral business from the housewarming parties that she does.
Hey Lexi, you could talk about it. Danny Barron, did you hear him at family reunion?
Sure.
Yeah, his revolves, all his whole business, he's in Cincinnati as well, his revolves around client events.
Mhm.
He holds 3 or 4 client events a year. Every touch in his database is inviting them to the client event. Following up with their, are you attending the client event? Having the client event, thank you for coming to the client event, and here's pictures of you at the client event. And then as soon as he sends you pictures, you're invited to the next client event, so literally.
His playbook, like how to get 3,000 RSVPs.
Yeah.
Isn't that his? Yeah. So,
He didn't even talk about real estate.
yeah. There is a lady that I don't remember where she was, and I don't even think Jason remember who she was. She loves throwing dinner parties. That's what she loves. It's like her favorite thing ever. So that's what she does for her lead generation stuff, is she throws a dinner party and she invites one of her friends,
Hey.
couples, because her and their husband put them on. They invite a friend and they ask their friend to invite somebody they don't know. They throw a dinner party, they get to know these other people. It is not a dinner party to talk about real estate, it's a dinner party. But inevitably, it's one of the first questions you always get asked when you meet somebody new. What do you do for a living? Oh, a real estate agent. What do you do? Right, because it's all gonna come back, because that's just naturally how conversations happen, right? But what's more important than the conversation getting directed towards real estate? Next shows. The relationship. Right, we're building a relationship with these people, and once they know we're a realtor and we put them in our database and we're building those relationships, it's all gonna come back to it, right? So we've got golfing, we've got client events, we've got housewarming parties, we've got dinner parties. There's an agent who started with 1 margarita machine. He had a single margarita machine, and he had a friend that asked him if he could borrow the margarita machine. And before he lent it out to his friend, his wife said, you should take your business card to the top of that margarita machine. So he did. And then he got a closing from it. That closing, he bought 4 more margarita machines. And he started lending out these margarita machines.
Get like a jumper and
They have everything. They have like one of those really, really tall ladders that you only need once in a blue moon, but they're like super expensive to go buy for needing it one time
yeah.
in your lifetime. They've got those. They've got jumpers, they've got like helium machines, they've got like confetti poppers, popcorn machines. I mean, they've got those things that you need like once in a blue moon that nobody would ever go buy for their thing. And he lends them out for free to his database. And it got to the point where they had to rent a storage unit and pay somebody to go sit out at the storage unit to check stuff in and out to his database, but now he's the guy that you need something and you go to him. And so if he's that guy for everything else, can you imagine what their real estate's that their people in his world know about realtor? Yeah, you go to him, he's got all the stuff and he sells something, right? So that was a niche that I think he stumbled onto. That wasn't something that they sat down and was like, I'm gonna use this for the generation techniques. But they really enjoy it, and it's been a huge boost to their business by doing something like that. So for him, he's filling a need in his community and in his database, and it just so happens to be a really good database push for him. Right? So I task you with this list to find something on this list, or even something that maybe isn't on this list, like I don't know if necessarily dinner parties is on this list. But find something that you enjoy doing that is a big part of your life, maybe something that you would like to get back to. And find a way to do that and lead it to real estate. Right? To do that, to build relationships so that you can put them in your database and put them on a monthly neighborhood nurture, right? Something along those lines, okay? So, in a shifting market, almost all successful agents agree that lead generation effort should be focused on prospecting and enhanced by marketing. The reason is prospecting doesn't have to cost much, and this is a time when you need to be careful with your expenses. Prospecting may be a stretch for you. You may be uncomfortable calling people or talking directly to people and asking for business. But again, prospecting with direct response is the quickest path to finding motivated buyers and sellers. There are many prospecting options, from FSBOs and open houses to door knocking and working with your Mets. And there are good Keller Williams resources, Ignite, which is coming back in September, I believe, Lead Generation 3612-3, and the MREA courses, which we're doing a new MREA series next month, which I'm really excited about. They give specific guidelines and best practices to how to do each one. Pick one method of prospecting and master it, then and only after you've mastered one, add another technique. Okay?
Almost like the red light, green light with
Yes.
skills.
Yep. The environment in which you prospect can have a positive or negative effect on your results. To achieve maximum focus and productivity, follow these guidelines. You are going to find a place with no distractions, preferably a closed door. A mirror, so you can watch your expressions, because your expressions will bleed through the telephone, promise you that. Scripts, so you know what to say. Join Steven in here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 to 11. Your big why, to keep you focused on why you're doing this. Some people will write it on a piece of paper and post it in their workplace. Your big why is your family, put a picture of your family in your environment, right? Affirmations for positive mindset. I just got a really fun business cards, like size deck of cards that have motivational sayings all over them. If you need one, come see me. No interruptions, no cell phone unless you're cold calling. If you're cold calling, put it on do not disturb. Okay. No voicemail, no email. Okay. Get in the path of business. In a shifting market, your sources for leads should move towards the highly motivated buyers and sellers. Listed below are some sources of leads that are obvious because they get you in front of the sellers and buyers who are most likely ready now. So for sellers, we've got expired listing and FSBOs. For buyers, we've got open house and investors. Okay. Again, there should be some scripts in here that we gave to you guys for these conversations. Come back and meet with Steven to master that if you want. Getting back to your Mets and past Met clients, your Mets are important to your business and you may have been neglecting them. Get back into regular communication with them and continue to build your database of Mets. You don't need a reason to call your Mets. Call to say Happy New Year, or I'm hosting an open house next Sunday. Would you like to come visit me? Mets are the greatest source of referrals, so be certain to remind them that you are in real estate and you are there for them. And don't forget to ask for referrals. Keep your Mets updated on the market. In fact, telling them about the market gives you a great reason to contact them. Copy articles off the internet or out of magazines and newspapers and send them along with a short handwritten note to those in your database. Be enthusiastic and positive about the market. Which that also gives me a great idea. How many of you guys get the newspaper every morning? None of y'all are old
They
enough for that?
still rent those?
They do, they still print them. We got them delivered to our house when my grandpa started living with us, and then after he passed, my mom was like, I actually really enjoy having paper. So then we kept it, then when we moved, we haven't done it. But what if you got the paper, enjoyed the current events, which I don't know, debatable, right? But if you got those, and especially for like thinking like smaller town like Richmond Berea type of newspapers. And what if every time you saw somebody that you knew in the newspaper, you cut it out and mail it to them? Small thing, possibly a rare thing, but how cool would that be if you were featured in the newspaper and somebody was like, hey, I saw this of you, how awesome is that, right? I've been in the newspaper for good things, I promise, okay, so. Remind them you're in real estate, update them on market, we've got native nurture, safe searches. Market hot sheet data, you could pull that every week, post it on social media, send it to people, be enthusiastic and positive, treat them special. Try something new, builders, multinational groups, generational groups, uncover buyers. Okay, so I think that try something new is, what do you like to do, love to do, and go do that. Okay, alright, so that's all I got. Any comments, questions, concerns on shift tactic number 4? Let me wrap it up.
That was fantastic, I just want the slides.
Okay. Slides it is. Okay, so what's new in the market side? Business coaching with Mr. Stephen Brashear. You can see that on the calendar. We've got our ALC meeting is on the 26th, so you guys please come to that. We've also got agent advocacy today with Mr. Don Bentley. So if you are in the Georgetown area, I promise you'll want to stay for that. Community Kickstart with me is tomorrow. Let's get it down. Office will be closed on Thursday. Juneteenth is on Thursday. That is the KWRI holiday, so we will not be here. You can still come, but we won't be here. Okay.
That means you're on your own if the paper jams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of market update, I wanna stick on this for a minute. Did you guys know that every month KWRI posts a market update video? With their economist Ruben? I don't remember his last name, Ruben something. So we're talking about giving people market updates and you don't wanna pull the market hot sheet, whatever that is. Could you just send this to people? I would probably watch it first and then send it to people, but could you do that? If we are talking about your social media presence and maybe we have a focus of, I wanna get on social media more this year. What if we watched this market update, took notes, and then got on Facebook and turned the video on and just went through our notes? Hey guys, I've got a market update for you, here's what the economists at KWRI are saying, these are the notes that I took, here's what they're saying. How interesting is that? So, the market updates, they're on the YouTube page, you can bookmark this playlist, it is a playlist that they add to it, they're very good breakdowns, they do a really good job. So, market update, if you didn't know about it, Mega Agent Camp. Did you guys know? You should, because I've said this before, but there are 3 ways for you to attend Mega Agent Camp for free this year. Partially for free. You can get your Mega Agent Camp ticket paid for. You make a referral of a licensed agent to Kelly or Tara, and they attend Mega Agent Camp. You can get, or I think that's half. You get your full Mega Agent Camp ticket paid for if you refer 2 licensed agents, and they will attend Mega Agent Camp. And if you get 3 licensed agents to attend Mega Agent Camp on your referral to Kelly and Tara, we will pay for your Mega Agent Camp ticket and your flight. Business. We're business, so like, you're not gonna get first class. But, Mega Agent Camp is in San Antonio, Texas this year. It's going to be fun, they just released the final lineup of speakers, and it is going to be a really, really good lineup. So, Mega Agent Camp, we'd love to have you guys go with us. Another reminder about Bold. Bold is coming, because of the new shift to Onward Bold, it's gonna be here before you think that it is going to be here. So please plan for Bold, if that means getting with Jackie and having her pull a portion of your next commission. aside so that you can attend Bold, please get with her now. It is not a cheap thing to attend, we do reimbursements, so you close any transactions from Bold within a couple, I think it's like. We usually do the cutoff between Bold and I think it's like the 1st of February of the next year. We will reimburse you portions of that cost, okay? And then we have a little gift for you guys, so who in here knows who Roy Vaden is? Stephen does, yay. Roy Vaden, and his wife AJ, who wrote this book, own several branding companies that help all sorts of businesses and individuals with their personal and their business brand. He has spoken at CEO Summit a couple of times. I think he was a main speaker. I think maybe even did a breakout session at Family Reunion. Him and his wife wrote this book, Wealthy and Well Known. It is not actually going to be released until July 1st. Roy Vaden has given any KW agents or leadership access to download the free audiobook version of Wealthy and Well Known now. So this is only available to KW agents. Scan the QR code, fill out the form, they will email you a link to download the audio book version of Wealthy and Well Known. Again, this isn't gonna be released until July 1st, so pretty cool. It's all about personal branding, what you need to do with your branding and all of that kind of stuff, okay? I did also post the link to this in the internal group yesterday, in case that QR code isn't working, but really cool opportunity. And then we wanted to remind you guys of building wealth beyond commissions. This is a wealth building class with Linda and Jim McKissick. Here in Lexington at Limestone Hall, July 24th, 9 to noon. Early bird registration, I think, is either today or tomorrow. So if you can hit the early bird, it's only gonna be $50. Jim and Linda aren't in this area of our region a lot, so highly recommend this. We want all of you guys to build your wealth. Kind of talked about that earlier, the passive income and profit share. But please, if you are interested in wealth building at all, sign up for this, take this course, it's going to be very, very good. Next week, do you want to talk about this really quick? Since you're related to one of them?
Yeah, so next week we're gonna have guest speakers at team meeting, well, virtually, but it'll be really cool to hear from them. Erin Key Jones, my aunt, so Kelly's sister, twin sister actually, and Josh Dukes, they are the co-owners of One Residential, which is a top 10 KWRI team. They were also featured, you guys might have seen in episode 82 of Millionaire Real Estate Agent, that podcast about how to turn new agents into top producers. I worked for them doing all sorts of stuff at their office. They're really cool people. They have a lot of knowledge and a lot of like motivational stuff, really good pieces, they say. Yeah.
And Erin came in and did a class for us a couple months ago. That is on our YouTube channel if you want to go back and watch it with Erin. Listen to their MREA podcast. In fact, if you are not listening to the MREA podcast every week, I highly encourage you to do so. It is a very, very good podcast. They're doing I think the one that came out Monday is a back and forth with Mel Robbins. So Jason interviewed Mel Robbins and then took his notes from his interview with Mel Robbins and sat down with Gary Keller and was like, here's what she had to say, what are your thoughts on it? And then went back, I think they kind of bounced back and forth a couple of times. So I think after he sat down with Gary Keller, he went back and sat down with Mel Robbins and then like went back and sat down with Gary Keller. So it's kind of like a dueling pianos type of a scenario between Gary Keller and Mel Robbins. So if you don't know who Mel Robbins is, she wrote the 5-Second Rule, the Let Them Theory that just came out, which if you haven't read either of those are very, very good books. So MREA podcast, if you're not listening to it, should be. Next week, we will still be here, but you can also catch us on YouTube Live. It's Blue and Forest team meeting next week, so we're excited to have them. That's it. 3 minutes to spare. Alright, anybody have any inventory stuff that they want me to write down? Any I needs?
I have a 3-bedroom, 1 bath coming up in Ravenna, pretty rural. but it's on an acre. Mostly fenced in. And one owner, and it's hitting the market probably today for 210.
You said 3 bed, 2 bath,
3 bed, 1 bath.
3 bed, 1 bath on an acre. Okay. Anyone else you have? Kristen?
I have a 3 bed, 1 bath on a little over an acre coming up in Clay City. For 227.5. First of early next month,
What was the listing price?
227.5.
Okay.
I'm looking for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. In Mount Sterling. 250 or under.
250 or under? Donna, where you going, Regina?
Yeah, I've got. One. Gonna be coming soon, starting the 20th. And it's in South Point. 360. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, tri-level. Nice landscaping, nice yards.
Where's some?
It's one of the older ones.
Sorry, I just don't know, let's know.
Where South Point, yes, South Nicholasville Road.
Okay,
I think it was built in 1975. But don't watch it, it looks real good.
If you need anybody to help do an open house for that one, I'm available if you need.
Okay.
I'm like right there. I live
In
in Devondale, like right across from all that.
I think my daughter's gonna do it, but if she doesn't.
Just let me know if you
you
need
just
anything.
swap back and forth, one doesn't do, we get it.
Yeah.
Anybody have any buyers that are looking for anything that's on the market right now? What do you have that just came back on the market?
I have a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. 840 square feet. House in Harrodsburg. Right near the old Harrods Fort.
What's your listing price right now?
It is 98.
Just came back on the market.
Yesterday, Samantha's having an open house from 5:30 to 7:30 tonight.
Is it an investor?
It is an investor specialty.
So,
It's a lot of land with a house on it.
how much land is on there?
It's just a small
Oh, okay.
yard. It needs foundation work in the basement.
Find her a buyer. Or
Yeah,
seller.
please.
Alright, anything else anybody got?
He's done.
Let's call it, no more.
Can you go back to the slide where Linda and Jimmy considered?
Yes.
Is there information on where that is? Oh, yeah. okay.
Yeah,
Limestone Hall.
parking does, your ticket covers parking for that event too.
Okay, the across the
Yeah, it's
street.
kind of crazy not to go to that.
Yeah.
Because anytime Linda's talking. You know,
Yep. Alright, y'all,
yeah.
thanks for coming. Get some donut holes on your way out. Don't all rush out at once.